Great to be back because it's a very special venue, special race, special city. Here you're braking at around 60 or 70, and then this is so hard, and it's one of the most difficult tracks. If you could change one rule in F1, what would it be? Honestly, I would... Welcome back to F1 Fridays, and this week we're in Montreal. There hasn't been a race here in the last 2 years, so it's great to be back because it's a very special venue, special race, special city. And it's one of the most difficult tracks also because you're low downforce, because there's so many long straights, so you have very low grip, but at the same time you have all this kind of street circuit cornering and curbs and this and that. It's very, very challenging to hit those curbs in the right place, to get the brakings, big brakings very often with a lot of bumps. Really is difficult. It's actually a Lewis Hamilton special, this track. I think Hungary and Montreal being his two best tracks, so for me it was always very difficult going there to beat him. Before we get going though with the Montreal stuff, very important, I've kicked off a big raffle. Here is your chance to become a Tesla driver of this Model Y, where I'm raising a lot of money with your help, and everything is going to emergency help in the Ukraine, especially children, refugee children. So please go on the website below now, viprize.org. Buy as many tickets as you can to my raffle. Even with one ticket, you can win the main prize, but of course, the more tickets you get, the larger are your chances. And the prizes that you can win are really awesome. I've put in, for example, an original F1 helmet of mine, so you can win that. You can win a Tesla Model Y car, the car you can win. For 1 year, we're going to deliver it to your home. Many smaller prizes as well, like many mini helmets that I've signed, posters, tickets to my Green Tech Festival, and meet and greet with me in Monaco. I mean, etc. So much cool stuff. So I think you'll be really excited about the prizes. So please go on viprize.org now below and buy as many tickets as you can. So I'll be really happy if you join in. Next up, in this video also you have the chance to get a gift from me, which is separate to the raffle. I will send you a gift if you get the top comment. The most liked comment in this video. And this week's question is, what do you like most about F1? Because I saw a Reddit thread recently where people were discussing, oh, I like the personalities of the drivers, or I like the behind the scenes, or I like the actual racing, the battling, the wheel-to-wheel racing, the technology, the innovation, whatever. Really let me know, what do you like most about F1? Let me know in the comments below. I look forward to your answers. I'm sure there's going to be some cool ones, some funny ones. Good luck with getting the most liked comment. I'll send you a cool gift then. So that's it. And now let's jump right into the hot lap. All right, that was a good lap. Now we're going to jump into the slow lap where I'm going to tell you about all the details and what you need to do to be fast on the Montreal track. Okay, so to start the lap, first of all, you stay all the way left because it's always important to straight line any braking zone as much as possible because there's only a certain amount of capacity in terms of grip on tires, and that's divided up in lateral and longitudinal deceleration, yeah? And so if you have some lateral on, you're going to be able to decelerate less longitudinally. So it's always important the least possible lateral so that the tire has the most capacity to decelerate in the braking and slow the car down longitudinally, you know? So that's why you start on the left here, and then you straight line it into the braking zone here, And here it's not so important to brake super late. Important is to carry speed into the corner and stay tight on the exit, because you're not going to gain or lose time on the exit here, but you do gain or lose time in the hairpin a lot. So here we go. Quite late braking, 4th gear through here. Just carry the speed through, take the curb on the inside, and then stay middle of the track. And then here it's really important. Here is where you gain or lose the most time. So deep braking, small braking of course. 2nd gear downshift, make a little bit of a V shape out of it. So you end up a little bit away from the curb in the middle of the corner, and then you turn back in and then hammer it onto the gas. Early upshift, because it's always going to be a long exit there with a lot of oversteer. Early upshift to keep the rear stable and calm on the upshift, you know. So then upshifting again. Okay, now here you're braking at around 60 or 70, and then this is so hard because super aggressive turn in, and it's so important to hit this curb in exactly the right place, which is there. Because if you don't hit it enough, the curb is a bit like, it has like a little bump on the left, and it will throw you off. If you hit it too much, you'll bottom down on the car, and that will also throw you off. So there is only one sweet spot, and it's very important to get exactly there, which is where I am now. And otherwise your lap is gone. So it's so hard to brake deep, throw the car in and nail it exactly in the right spot over that curb every single time, which is crucial. This is 3rd gear, I think. This next one, again, you can take it quite a lot, even though usually you need to miss curbs when you're on the power already, but here you go on power before you hit the curb on that 2nd apex, release the power a little bit and then go again. So you do hit that curb as well, and then you just run it out as much as possible to the wall. Upshifting 4th, 5th, 6th. Here's just about carrying the speed through. On the exit, don't go too wide, because again you need to straight line this braking. So come back straight away, straight line the braking, brake at 80, and then here you can almost go all the way to the white line or even slightly over the white line, because you want to try and get as wide an entry as possible. 3rd gear, this apex you actually miss the apex curb, because it's a very high curb, so it's better to keep the car settled and miss it. So you're just running up to it. And then on the exit, again, stay tight, because this corner you need to try and like straight line it as much as possible, because you're putting so much power down here, and you can really easily get some big snaps there. So, and always run it up all the way to the grass, careful not to touch the grass. Same thing on the outside. Now it gets really bumpy here, really bumpy. You start getting into some understeer. That curb kind of it's not a good idea to go on that curb, because you'll end up being on the grass. So you need to stay away, just run up all the way to the grass, and that's it. So quite a difficult exit there. Okay, taking it straight down now. So go middle of the track. So braking at 80 meters. Braking here, this is not a nice corner, it's quite horrible. You got 3rd gear again. You got to miss this curb, because it's a big sausage curb, it doesn't work to take it. And then power down massively, upshifting, and miss that curb as well. Just run it onto the lower part of the curb, and then all the way out to the wall. I've hit that wall before. Okay, and now down to the hairpin. So here, brake balance goes forwards, because you're going to be braking really deep now. Maximum braking down here. So again, you stay right, then you cut it in left to get the braking straight as possible. Big bumps here in braking. You brake at 90 meters. Bam, full in the brakes. 2nd gear, and then start turning in, and oh, it's horrible. There's always super low grip here as well. And it's just pretty standard hairpin. And here you do not run it out all the way, because you otherwise will you won't be able to straight line the exit. You'll be steering too much, which is going to cause some losses in acceleration. So you do need to stay away from that exit wall quite a bit, stay a little bit more middle track to then straight line the exit. Because as I said before, the same applies for traction. If you're straight line, you're going to be able to accelerate faster, because you have more capacity in the tires to accelerate. Now down the straight, interestingly, as you know, if you can drop your Formula 1 car like 1 millimeter lower all around the car setup, you'll go 300ths of a second faster. So getting the car as low as possible is always crucial. What's the limitation on going lower? It's now the purposing, which hits you on the ground, but also the wear on the plank. So you have this wooden plank under the car, and the wear needs to be less than a couple of millimeters, and if it's more, you get disqualified. And most of the wear comes from the straight line, from going down the straight, because that's where your car is compressed, you're sitting down on the plank. So that's why it's so important on the straights, and I don't think many drivers do that, to find that very special line where you're bottoming a little bit less, and maybe that will allow you to do that 1 millimeter less. So here in free practice, you're going to be looking, is it a little bit better on the left, a little bit better on the right, where's the best spot to put the car, so you have a little bit less bottoming, and maybe that will help you drop the car that little bit more. Okay, coming down here now, you're in 8th gear, you brake at 80, downshift all the way to 3rd gear. This first curb, you take maximum attack, boom, you hit it so hard on the white. And then the second one, because now here you're back on the power again, the second one you only take the lower part, because you're full on the top power again, and then run out all the way to the wall. This one is the Wall of Champions, which I have never been in actually, but then again, I never raced there as a champion, so there we go. And then this is the end of the lap, and here now to finish the lap, you go straight, you don't go the normal line, which is back here to straight line the entry, but you go straight to the line to do the shortest distance possible. So you're straight lining it here, bam! And that's the end of the lap. And now we're going to jump into the Q&A. All right, jumping into the Q&A. Steve, as there were no races in Canada for 2 years, is it hard for drivers to get back into the rhythm on this track? No, you don't forget. It's like riding a bicycle. You remember the track, and you can get into the rhythm quite quickly, but the cars are completely different, so that is going to get some taking used to. When you get to a new track with such different cars this year, where the aerodynamics, are completely different and everything, that will take some getting used to, so it's going to be interesting. Of course, it is a very difficult track for people who come there the first time, so for all the rookies who haven't been there yet, it's really difficult to learn. It's such a challenging track. So I think the experienced guys will have some benefits there. Question 2, Caleb, if you could change one rule in F1, what would it be? Honestly, I would do some kind of race before like 3 of the races in the season, where all the drivers go out with exactly the same car, and they do a race against each other with the same car. It was done once in 1985, where everybody was driving these road car Mercedes cars to launch the Nürburgring new racetrack. My father was racing at the time, and Senna won that race. I think it was super cool, and I would love to see that again nowadays. Everybody goes out, same car, maybe even like road cars, no? Where really we can see like real action, I think that would be great. Question 3, Air Knight, what was your biggest struggle in becoming an F1 driver? It was actually, becoming an F1 driver, first of all, you need to win every year on your way up. So Formula 4, Formula 3, Formula 2. And that's tough because you have all the best of your generation racing there. So that was difficult. And then I also found the whole mental side quite a challenge, especially when you get to F1, because it's such a different world. All of a sudden you have so much attention, so many people within your team, so much money involved, so many fans watching what you're doing, such tough opponents, such a high level. So that was probably one of the most biggest challenges really in getting going. Question 4, Corey, if you could spend a season racing in any other discipline, what would you choose? I really struggle with that answer because after F1 it's difficult. So what would I choose? Would I choose maybe IndyCar? Just because it would be a cool experience to race in America. But I'm not going to do it because I'm scared of the ovals primarily also. But I think maybe I'll choose that, a bit like Romain Grosjean has now done. Question 5, Naidu, which type of feedback do you give the team as a driver after F1, FP2, and how does it progress over a weekend? Do you sometimes talk to other drivers about setups? No, you don't talk to other drivers, especially not your teammates. Although maybe once in a while, but no, almost never. You try and see what he's doing via the data and via the engineering. And FP1, FP2, it's really about the basics. It's really about finding the setup of the car, building up towards it, coming up with a strategy also for like ABA testing. So you go out with one setup, go to something different, come back to another, to the same. So you have this ABA is always important because you have the track improvement and everything. So if you just do AB, you'll never know, was B really better than A, or is it just the track getting better? So you have to go back to A. And you come up with a plan for that, and you're just discussing all these kind of setup parameters. All right, that's it. Thank you so much. Subscribe to my YouTube channel also. We've got the Rimac Nevera coming very soon. I know I've been saying it very often, but there's unfortunately been delays as everywhere in the car industry, but it's coming very soon. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss when I go live with receiving the Rimac Nevera, which is the fastest car the world has ever seen. Fully electric. It's going to be incredible. So thanks for watching. Bye bye. I don't wanna wake up.